I know. I was talking about your situation.
I know you.
It's the Villains Talk Show with Sir Jeremy, Insanieac, Sarah Vike, the Great Grease Goblin, and me.
No, not you. You're not here. Don't be ridiculous.
I've
You're
always
not real.
been here. I am.
I am. Not the rest of you.
Oh my god, how are you guys? Sorry about...
Bursting with fruit flavor.
Oh my god. Hello and welcome to the Villains Talk Show.
Semi-content with fruit flavor.
We, as always, are your hosts. We didn't have a show yesterday because I worked at 5 a.m. this morning, so I just kind of crashed it to bed. But everyone's here. We're going to talk about progression. A short talk.
We just went over this. We're not here. Only I'm here. Only I'm real.
Well, they can see me.
I don't know about that.
The people can see me. I'm here. I mean,
No, it's just a projection from my mind.
We can't see you.
I've experienced a large portion of my life without you, so that's...
You know what?
definitely not true.
But it was the worst part of your life.
What wasn't the best part? That's hard.
Nothing was as good until you met me, and you cannot deny that.
Right? Yes, I can.
No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm the greatest thing that ever happened to anyone's life.
Is our current progression up till now?
Just jealous of my amazingness. But yes,
Bursting with envy. That's me today.
talking about progression. Yes, because I do turn 31 on Saturday, so I've progressed another year.
Oh, the age is so
I know,
hard.
he's sad.
Hey!
He's sad about the age.
He's a dinosaur.
Hey.
How dare the time to make me grow
Excuse
old.
me. This beautiful face will not last forever, and that makes me sad.
We can't see that beautiful face. Remember, it's just the...
Right?
Well, maybe you should be watching the stream, and then you can see my beautiful face. It's so
the stream. Why do I
gorgeous.
need to watch the stream? I know it's
Exactly.
You know
And
what?
it's just like streamception. It's too much. Too much, John.
You're just cranky. You look like you're 35 and you're only 26.
Not really. That's just because I haven't shaved.
You know, you could be talking to either of us, and I might stab you.
No one can.
I don't take it personally because I'm not wounded by the winds of time. Oh, age is so hard. I have to be older
God.
the next year.
You know, I felt that way too at 26. Oh, what a year. What a year.
What a year.
But yes, progression. Today we're talking about progression. And I wanted to talk to it, not actually because of my birthday, but when Insanieac brought it up. It's something I did touch on a while ago when we were talking, just me, Sir Jeremy, and Sarah, that I'm really bad at progression.
I can tell.
Yeah.
What you know?
Yeah.
I never really thought. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't really think about it, but after you saying it, yeah, I can tell.
Right?
It makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yep.
I'm really bad at it. It is actually one of my weakest points, is especially constant slow progression. I can be
like turning 31.
well. I can be patient. That's no problem. If the timer's already been made for me, if someone has set the time frame for me, I can be patient. That's fine. It's when I'm doing it myself or I'm setting my own pace. No.
See, it helps when you say stories or games or
Stories.
It helps when you make a timeline of sorts, to give you a time frame to work within.
It does, but let's put it this way: most of the
You don't know how to do that?
it's like the problem with, I think, coming from university, especially for doing it for so long, like I'm so used to deadlines that are not my doing. And like I am the king of writing 4 30-page 50,000 word dissertations on the political and economical differences between India and China, or the social discourses between the United States and Arabian countries. Like I could do
that too, but I fill all my essays with the, and so as much as fucking times as I can.
That's a bit of a problem.
See, I can't. I actually
You gotta
fill
hit that word count.
I'm one of those people, I'm one of those
Terrible.
people that will write you a giant dissertation that all makes sense and it's all right, but I did it all in 6 hours last night. And that's why I became good at English, although you guys
the next
don't.
part is the morning after trying to explain it to a bunch of other people.
But
my legs are having a problem.
I do
Ooh.
it.
It's like
Uh-oh.
strobe lights over there.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Is your power going out?
No, it's just my lamp. Give me one sec.
Oh,
I
then
will.
leave it. Everyone wants a
Turn up.
dance party.
Give me 1 second. I'll just turn on my regular light.
But no, I was always like, it's one thing to have deadlines because like I said, I could defend what I did my papers on, and so on and so forth. I guess like I don't really want to jargon over it, but like I knew what I was talking about, but it didn't make it any difference that I didn't get to the point until I had a deadline. I had no sense of doing a little bit, and it's the
I do that too with papers.
And it's the same when I get to writing or doing my D&D. So, like, I'll write, like, 10 pages of story for my group, and that will be a month ago. And so I'll just...
Yeah.
And...
It takes a while for you to get to that point.
Yeah. And then, like...
I'm like, really bad for projects when it comes to writing and stuff, so, like, when I'm trying to set up stories and stuff for, like, D&D, I've been trying to be better, sorts, because I've come to the table with, like, literally in the midst of writing, like, footnotes of what I'm planning to do. I just haven't gotten a chance to write it up yet.
Yeah, I have the same issue.
The problem is, like, you look in, like, a D&D book, like, we're just using that as an example, like, you look at something, like, in a D&D book, and you see it's just a small little block of text like that. It's like an inch or two of text. And it's an entire little plot point, or like an entire module, you could say, is only like 2 pages. And then all of a sudden, when the party goes through it, it ends up being like 2.5 hours of content. And then when I try to write something, I end up writing pages of stuff. And it doesn't seem to have the same level of, I wouldn't say brevity. I'd just say it doesn't have the same step by step. It feels like everything I'm doing is a jump.
Well, first of all, I would say brevity is definitely not your strong point anyways.
Long-winded
You have a lot of strong points, so it's just not one of them.
Okay.
But it's like a jump. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? It's like a jump.
Like, if I'm writing a book, one of the hardest things for writing any of my stories is trying not to jump. Trying not for things to happen too fast. Pacing, essentially.
I have that same issue, actually.
Yeah, it's something I've always really struggled with is pacing. Especially in my writing. Especially in my D&D. Or even when I play LARP. I'm really bad with pacing.
Fair, it's a hard thing. I'm not super great.
I really misunderstood that for my D&D games too. When I set up like a custom story of sorts, I had an idea of like the first 5 levels more or less, and like it took a lot longer than I expected to some degree on certain things. But that's also because it was my first real attempt at trying to hit that and play out through the game. So like it was a learning experience of sorts.
Jeremy, you said you have a problem with pacing? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known if you hadn't said that.
That's because we fill out the spaces.
That has potential. We do tend to sit around and argue a lot.
You guys do. That is for sure.
Yeah, we.
That's part of the
That
RP.
sounds like more of a you and Andrew problem.
That's part of the RP.
It's a Sarah, Andrew, Kate, Grease Goblin problem. Let's be fair.
Sometimes he's not as bad as me and Sarah.
There's only 3 people who don't argue as much.
As if you haven't done it as well, John.
Not for 2 hours.
He's not as bad.
Not for 2 hours. I give
I
up.
think we're proving the point here.
That's so funny.
Why do you think I do crazy things all of a sudden in our D&D game? Because I'm tired of arguing for an hour in game. Let's just do something. I'm going to cut off my eyelids. At least it's something.
We don't roll that fast, you see.
You talk about how crazy my D&D character is. You drive him crazy.
Someone needs to. He's too sane at this point. Things are broken in his mind. He just doesn't
You're
know
the
that.
one who married Andrew's character. That was your idea.
That was your idea.
Now we're off topic. That being said,
That's our progression, John. What do you mean?
well, give us an example, Jeremy, of how
progression of
what makes
our
you
chat
think
show
that you're
today.
because like from what like I'm with Sarah in her camp. Like I've been friends with you for at least over a year now, and I've actually been in your campaign for over a year now, a year and a half. I've never really had that. I've never really had that feeling from you. In fact, I've actually been trying to model my progression off of you, because it feels
I constantly am trying to slow. You guys haven't seen originally though. Like I constantly am trying to slow myself down.
Really?
They'll get there.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Well, I felt that the past couple sessions a little bit, just in my soul.
In your soul?
I can feel it from Jeremy. It's just like, come on, guys, let's at least get on the spaceship. Let's go somewhere.
Yo,
Yeah, that's
we have to
fair.
argue about the gnomes.
he wasn't alone
Yeah.
on that one.
Oh, I know, but I can feel it from him.
John's messaging me. I'm like, I feel you.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So bad.
I can tell.
Yeah.
No,
Gotta
but
settle on a direction when none of us know we can settle on anything. That's what we do best.
Yeah.
it's a real bummer in my writing, because like I mean, Jeremy, you guys understand, like, when, especially if you're like in the middle of something and then something else happens and then something else happens and there's no real stepping stone to how each one links, but in your mind it all links together because you know the entire story and you kind of forget.
I felt a lot for kind of my character for Gunshot for things, like the way certain things would move into others, like having to go to Valinor to say badass and then doing other stuff. Like, a lot of it, none of it was really like together, but the timing of it kind of made it have to be followed up by one to some degree. Like, I had other ideas and things that I'd like to do, but then it's just like these things feel like certain, like they need to be addressed, you know, because they can't be left alone for a certain amount of time.
I've been told recently, actually, that my pacing in my writing is too slow. So that's interesting. I feel like I don't want to speed up because I want to have time with the people.
Well, it's always good to write more and then cut, right? Because
Yeah.
it's always it's something I've always known, and just it's same with film, same with anything. You always want to do more and then pick the best parts from it.
True.
Or at least, because like we
It's
can
hard when you fall in love with all the parts, though.
we can all go watch the Snyder Cut, but only like 1 in 5 of us is actually going to enjoy all 4 hours of it.
It will not be me.
That was not me. I enjoyed a bit of it, not all 4 hours of it.
You guys aren't
I was gonna
seeing.
say I'm the 4-hour guy, aren't I?
I'm raising my hand. I was raising
might
my
be.
hand. I enjoyed all 4 hours. I loved it.
I watched all 4 hours and enjoyed it.
It was so
There's
good.
a few points of Wonder Woman staring off in the distance with casually like.
Sorry, you mentioned Wonder Woman. You have to do the
And then
song.
like the frame by frame introduction of the Flash and his weird touching through the glass. That was
good though. Oh,
I
so good.
appreciated it, but it got weird as time went on.
No, what was weird was the always music with Wonder Woman. Da-na-na-na-na.
That wasn't really
Da-na-na-na-na.
weird. It was just more like it was strange. 'Cause
Sorry,
it came
no.
in at a moment that didn't make
You're right.
sense.
That music wasn't right. Her music was
True.
every time she was on screen. You could make one of the best shot games for 4 hours long. Every time you see Wonder Woman, you hear the music, you take a shot.
Like talking with a small child about her like future choices and layers.
I wonder what the described video is. It probably says Wonder Woman enters with music every time.
That was the screenplay.
I kind of want to look at the described video
That's
now.
all that's in the screenplay. It's Wonder Woman enters with music. It doesn't say anything else.
Aggressive opera. Playing.
Always.
All of
It's
it
just
winging it.
every time she's talking, it says in parentheses, epic Athena music playing in background. Every time. See, but that movie, like, that movie had great progression. The second one. First one
It
sucked.
did. Like the cut. Yeah, the cut was definitely a lot better. Than
I haven't watched it, and I
a
probably
lot of
won't.
it led up pretty nicely to some degree. I guess is a way to explain it. Like
It was also
it
longer
rounded off
than
and it was very like together, but like
a Lord of the Rings movie. Director's cut.
a Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings movie.
I know. I didn't say more than one. I kept it, but the fact that it can beat one Lord of the Rings movie.
That's pretty impressive.
Just wait for the Snyderverse that everyone's already crying about.
Oh my god. That's how DC battles Marvel? Releases 4-hour-long movies with nothing cut.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me, yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
For me, that was the first movie in a while that I had to, like, take a break from. Because, like...
It was just so awesome. You're like, oh.
No, it was too much.
Aquaman's
like,
chest.
Uncut, like, I could still feel the original Justice League. And with that...
So could I.
So
it hurt.
Yeah. And with that tied in, it's like, okay, this is a little much and a little... I wouldn't want to say put together, because it wasn't. It was better than what it was, but I wouldn't say it was a good movie.
Yeah, but you're the kind of guy who would
I love
say
DC.
that's a good movie.
I'm
trying to think of a movie you don't
My dad
like.
is a big movie buff. So
Well, okay, since we're on the
I'm
topic, movies with everyone pick a movie you think worst progression ever. A famous, good, considered good movie that had horrible progression. Can't just be some shit movie like Toxic Avenger. Because I would pick all of those. It has to be a real movie, a good movie that had horrible progression.
I don't know. I don't watch a ton of movies.
You can go TV
I
show.
have to say, Doctor Strange, honestly.
Ooh,
I
why?
can kind of agree with that one.
Well,
Yeah.
no. Let him
bit of a weird
explain. I want to hear this one. I actually
I just
enjoyed that
found
movie.
it went from 0 to 100 real fast.
Mhm.
Like
That's
the first,
true.
That's very true. Yep,
That's true.
100%. Yep.
hour or the first like half hour to 45 minutes was just him pitting himself, and then after that it was like, I'm going to go be magical.
But did you
And
really
then-
want...
and then his
then
progression,
not
they
even
did like
later.
a 2-second
Yeah.
montage, and all of a sudden he's good at magic.
But
Yeah,
did you
it's
really
good.
want a
Time
whole
for a
movie?
montage. Gonna get a magical montage.
And then the next time we see him in any movies, he appears to be like the top sorcerer.
But is that bad?
Yeah.
But
I
because you
find
know
it
he's
found
smart.
it went
So
from
okay.
0 to
Now, see, now
My-
that was also foretold, and the time between his movies would say that he's practicing a lot in
My-
the background.
my-
That's true.
my position would be, I wouldn't argue that's bad progression as much as it just leaves, because you still when you see him before that montage, and you understand his character arc because it's fully fleshed out. He's an asshole. He doesn't really care about much people. He loses his hands. He can get them back, and he can. But like he has a full character arc. And sure, they do.
So they
cut
say
out
he's
a lot.
Tony Stark, but loses his hands instead of his heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
It's. I would say there's still like. That's why I wanted you to explain it, because I hear what you're saying. Because the other problem is then you have a movie where God, I can just name the superhero movie where you don't see
the Amazing Spider-Man.
you don't see any powers or any kind of
Yeah.
superheroing into the last 20 minutes of the movie, and you've just spent an hour and a half watching this person deal with their problems and slowly come to terms with their
Superhero
powers. And that's boring. So like I understand your point, like I do, but I also I could see why they would do it, and I still, because I was able to follow along. What movie I would say had horrible progression, personally, because I was thinking about this, is oh shit, I had it.
I know.
You go, because I didn't write this down because I
I
forgot.
have
Well, it's the movie that doesn't exist, The Last Airbender.
What movie?
But it does exist.
Exactly.
It's that bad.
Okay, but I mean, the progression is it's.
The progression is bad
That's
as
good.
well
That's
as
good.
everything.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's Studio Deep. For me, I'd say like the latest Star Wars movies are really bad for that too.
Yeah.
Like, there's other problems why they're awful, but at least if the progression wasn't so wonky,
All hail Darth Jar Jar.
it would make a lot more sense, and it wouldn't be so like, what the fuck is this, by a lot of older generation Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
The movie I was gonna pick was the original Predator.
Yeah,
That's fair, yeah.
I
could
love
see
that
that, I
movie.
guess.
Like, nothing against that movie. I absolutely love that
But
movie.
yeah, action didn't happen until probably the last 30, 40 minutes of the movie.
And all of a sudden, Arnold Schwarzenegger has figured out a bunch of stuff about the Predator that was never before, like, just out of nowhere. Oh, if I cover myself in mud. And, like, oh.
Well, he tests his theories, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can see him test the theories throughout the movie.
But all of his theories are
So
successful.
there-
That's the funny part.
Yeah, that's the exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
A moment where he has to deal with something that's maybe this isn't right, and he just pulls something up his ass, and that's not how Predator works. And he has to deal with the consequences of that.
It's like, it's like I said, it's a great movie. It is an absolute fantastic movie. But I think that movie has horrible progression. That's what I would say is but it sacrifices it for not the action, but the set pieces in the action. Like when you see the Predator fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger at night, and that's a really great just action.
Yeah, I'd say
scene.
like for like in the way of monster movies and stuff like that, they do a really good job of setting that tone of the invisible kind of force of like the unknown. You know?
I was gonna say,
because you're not sure of what it is, it makes it seem more daunting, more threatening than it is.
One of
until you
the-
actually deal with it.
I will agree to that because I would argue one of the greatest progression movies. If you want to, like, the more I think about it, and I've, mostly because I'm stealing this from someone else I heard this from, but it's true. That really shitty movie from 2001, Hollow Man.
I actually like that one.
You want to
Really
talk
did.
about, like,
That's
I had to
funny.
rewatch it. I remember it was like a couple years ago. I watched a
That was such
video
good
on
one for me.
it that talked
That's
about
funny.
how good Hollow Man really is. And it is. It is such a good movie. Because
It is a good, decent movie.
like, and it's not even about like the actual like it's a B movie, but the act that like you don't see the guy, you see hair just randomly brisk up in the wind, or you'll see papers just kind of move a little, not knocked down, not overt. Oh, there he is. It's you see things brush, and like it builds.
That shield of doubt in your mind.
Exactly.
As the actor, to some degree, right?
And so it makes it. It's one of my. It's not my favorite horror movie, but it's become one of my favorite cult classic horror movies.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Hollow Man. Freddy vs. Jason was one of my favorite movies, but that even had not very good progression.
It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I just when I hear
No,
about
but
it,
you're right. You're right.
I always think about
Reason.
Jason coming out of the water with the head of Freddy. Ready for the sequel that's never coming?
Yeah, exactly right. But like even then, like I feel like it could have been a longer movie, and they could have filled out some of the things that happened a little too fast, like shit in the hospital.
Who have we hit yet? Sir Jeremy, you haven't told us your... Or Grease Goblin, that's true.
Had something he was about to say.
I just said I enjoyed Scream for a horror movie.
Well, yeah, Scream's a great movie.
I actually never really got too into it. I heard it was great though.
Here's the thing about Scream. If you're gonna watch Scream, you have to have watched a lot of horror movies. You will not understand how good movie Scream is until you've watched a plethora of cheesy B and some really good horror movies.
Yeah, my life was all about that as a kid.
I mean, what is it? I think there's an argument that Scream is considered the original,
Yeah.
the original, not the original, but the start of that whole set of like, make fun of other movies. But Scream,
Look at Sarah's face.
Scream. Oh my God, perfect! We got another T-shirt. We got another T-shirt.
Hi.
Subscribe, and we'll give you a T-shirt
I'm
of
not gonna
this.
turn on my video from now on if I'm gonna freeze all the time.
We should all try to freeze with her and just like.
I pictured in my head when that moment came up. Like what
You know what? It's actually a really nice picture of you, Sarah. You're smiling, your eyes are closed. Hey, you got
Is
the
she
sun.
smiling? That's
Okay.
not the same face I'm getting right now.
Annoyed with us.
Oh, I got a really
No,
nice
I see
photo.
it. It's okay. I can deal
Yeah,
with
that's
that one.
really nice. Hey,
Is it?
yeah, that's very
Thank
nice.
you.
How dare you?
Am I seeing the same one as everybody else? I don't know.
Check the
Take a
stream.
picture of
It's
it.
You
frozen
just
on the
need me.
stream, so you can just check
No,
the
I'll take
stream.
a picture of it.
Anyway,
What the?
no, if you're gonna watch Scream, because Scream is one of those movies you have to prep yourself for, because you will not. It's like a piece of old literature. If you don't understand the history, you'll miss 90% of the jokes. And it's not even jokes. You'll miss 90% of the movie. Because it'll just go over your head. I'm not saying you don't have a good rapport in horror movies. I'm just saying build up your...
How dare you mock my movie taste?
Yeah. I'm saying that... I don't know.
We are mocking your movie taste.
Me and Jeremy are from that age. So I remember watching Scream and having Scream blow my mind.
Yeah, I'm seeing the Twitch one now. It's totally
scared the shit out of me.
It's totally a different Sarah face than I'm seeing right now.
Something
I like the
on
Sarah
our
face
head.
one that I'm seeing right now. It's a lot better. That one's a merch one for sure.
Yeah.
It's in Discord. It's great.
It is a nice one. It's a nice picture. But yeah,
You see
like
the one I saw?
Scream also scared me.
I'm sorry, I have to find out what's pounding on my house. I'll be back.
Is it the wind?
Is it the presence of your freeze frames?
Is it the sex robot from Robot Chicken?
No.
I was just gonna say it's the sex robot hunters.
Oh my goodness.
You got close to your car.
This is where if I had a good editor,
Go check your laundry machine.
it would be.
Surprise.
If I had a good editor, all of a sudden it would just I'd crop that in. Fucking robot.
That's hilarious.
Nice. But yeah, no, Scream scared me too because of I don't want to spoil it because of Andrew's never seen it or
Because of lots of things.
I know of it.
Yeah.
great
But I
movie.
haven't
Great
watched
movie.
the whole thing.
It's considered
Which,
one
like,
of
spawned like a whole genre of like scary movies.
it's
like,
considered
I know
a
what you
horror
did.
classic.
I also enjoyed a scary movie.
I think for me,
Who
like
did
in the
it?
way of like scary horror movie, that aided in like the weird like progression of like not seeing things was Boogeyman, the original one. That was a scary movie for me as a kid.
That's a
That
good.
shit drove me
yeah.
nuts.
You want to watch a good scary movie? Well, one of my favorite scary movies of all time. Not many people have seen it. I'm sure you probably have though. Rosemary's Baby.
That sounds familiar.
It
think
is
I've seen
the Michael Polanski movie, like the one that has all the controversy about it. Roman Polanski movie, and it has all the controversy around it. That movie is fucking amazing. It
I
is.
also haven't seen Funny Dark.
It will.
What movie, John?
Rosemary's Baby.
Hmm.
It
That's
is.
what she has to be in.
It is a trip, and it's good. It's really good. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. If you're gonna watch horror, you gotta watch Rosemary's Baby. Also, I mean, and then there's John Carpenter's The Thing, not the original Thing. The original 1950s Thing is not so good, but hilarious.
Yeah,
Man,
the horror movies.
with poor progression was A Quiet Place.
I didn't really.
I haven't seen it.
It was so quiet. I fell asleep watching that
Yeah.
movie.
Is that with
Yeah, it was a
Sandra
weird movie.
Bullock?
That stupid nail just drove me crazy. That was the only thing I could remember from it was a stupid
Yeah.
nail sticking out of the door.
What?
Yeah.
They zoomed in on it so many times.
I've never seen this movie. I know what it is. It's like the one where they can't talk or else the aliens wreck them and like a child dies.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
that one.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
that clip. That's like played all over the internet. Is this little kid? He's like, "Oh, I have
That
a
was in
fire
the
truck,
trailer.
dead."
And
Yeah.
that's the only time in the movie you see the alien, if I remember correctly, too.
Just
No, he's
wrecks
at
the
the end.
kid.
Like, it's
I thought they
very-
turned. I do know the end. Didn't they like turn her hearing aid into like a weapon?
Yeah.
like that.
Really?
That makes it.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, that's how
So
it
wait,
ended.
wait.
They turned her hearing aid into a weapon, and then the mom cocked a gun, and then it ended.
They stole the end to Mars Attacks.
Yeah,
Oh, that, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! They
Oh,
stole the end to
yeah,
Mars
like-
Attacks. Cause Mars Attacks, they died to the yodeling music.
Yeah, the yodeling music.
Opera.
They echo
there
it
is a
out.
part 2 coming out. For
I've
it.
never seen this movie, but now I want to see it. They stole the end to Mars Attacks, and people
wasn't
think
that
it's a
great.
good
That movie
movie.
is hilarious, though.
Yeah, and they think
Yeah,
the
it was more
Quiet Place.
confusing.
So what is it? Quiet Place is like because they're aliens, right? So yeah, it's Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
They just made Mars Attacks an actual like decent
Actual
horror
horror
movie.
And then it also came out like 2 months before Bird Box, which was the exact same concept, but
No,
with
it came
sight.
out months after Bird Box.
So wait.
Yeah.
What you're saying is there was two writers sitting in a room together, and they're like, "Man, I have this great idea. What if they couldn't talk? What if they couldn't see? You know what? Let's both do our movies and see which one does better. I'm gonna get Sandra
And then
Bullock."
there was another one that did the exact same thing with the no talking one, Silence.
Isn't that what A Quiet Place is?
No,
No.
this one has bird aliens.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
Thirdly.
You know what, the one that made me laugh was the Don't Breathe one, where it was the old man walking around a house. That was like, how is that a horror movie, dude?
How about the one? How about the one where he gets turned?
I got one for terrible progression. The Mist.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
You better give me an example on that one.
Didn't they do like a recut too for that one, where it was like supposed to be better?
They're just trashing the grocery store for 90% of the movie, and then the bad thing happens, and then the good thing happens, and I'm like, oh, that's so hilarious.
How is that bad progression?
Yeah.
You tell me how
They
that's
changed
bad
the ending,
progression.
right? Because like the dad kills his son or something, and then they finally get rescued.
I'm
And then
sorry.
they changed it.
That movie, like I said, that movie holds a dear place in my heart. You better got something a little better than that. Than just
That was an awful movie, man. Come on.
what?
Defend it.
Dude, the ending is so good, but
The
the rest of
entire
the movie was
movie
like,
is about
It's-
progression.
it's Silent Hill.
But that's the entire. But the entire movie is everything's progressive. Not just it's slow.
There's no progression. They just
There's
sit
no
in the store the whole time, and then they're like,
But-
all right, we're gonna adventure out. They adventure out once, the whole movie ends.
But it. All right.
That movie ended as fast
Take
as
a
it
deep
started.
breath, and I'm going to come at this logically. The idea of the Mist is everything becomes progressively worse at the convenience store. So when they first venture out, they think they have an idea of what they're going to face. They faced bugs that some reason attack the light. They've seen these giant tentacle things that seem to rip people, so they think they're ready. They then enter the pharmacy and find out, oh no, there is death, poison, toxic spiders. And so they realize that they can't stay there because these things are moving from place to place. So when they try to tell the religious cult nuts, the religious cult nuts decide, no, we're going to sacrifice you to this judgment level deity because, you know, it's M. Night Shyamalan and someone's got to be a religious crazy nut. It's part of his formula. Look at his movies. Prove me wrong.
I would say you're not wrong.
I know. Anyway,
Yeah.
and then not just that, you have them driving through the mist towards this noise that they've no idea what it is. It could be their death. And when the dad I love the end. The end's my favorite. I've never seen a swifter kick in the nuts than the end of the Mist.
Yeah, the ending is hilarious.
If you ever wanted a metaphorical kick,
Like, that's where
to your
some of my
nuts.
dark humor comes, is that fucking ending. Watching that shit, like, oh my god, I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I was watching with. They just, like, stared at me. And
Oh, so good.
I was in tears.
so good. I've never seen a swifter kick in the nuts in my life.
It was so awful.
I used to watch the videos of kicked in the nuts too, and that were not as bad as that movie.
Man, it's the best.
we're so
I
horrible.
think we needed that,
Wait.
that concept to get better. Like whatever's out there.
I just want to ask Jeremy one question. End of Drag Me to Hell. Funny?
I laughed at that. That was funny.
At the Sarah Michelle Gellar?
That was a joke movie.
The one where the girl like disses a gypsy and the gypsy curses her to hell.
Yeah, and the
The
gypsy,
bank
like,
teller,
and she gets, like, tongued.
Yep.
Tongued in the back
he
seat.
gets stoned, yep. All of that movie was just, it was a joke.
That also ridiculous.
And then she gets
That was
dragged to hell.
stupid. They were trying to be the Ring, and what's the other
so
one?
good. It was so good.
It was awful, dude. It was
Oh, it was so funny. The whole point. I thought that movie was a
Those
joke.
kind of horror movies,
Terrible.
they're good based on how awful
Don't
they
anger
are.
gypsies, because this will lead
All
to
right.
get gummed to death in the back seat.
Have you ever? Well,
And then ends up getting like flooded by her dead body when she's trying to like bury a note. In her
Ew.
oh, so good.
It's
With
so
the
hilarious.
button, it was the wrong envelope. Oh no, there's two. It was so stupid. I
what a
thought the
fucking
point was
joke.
to be
What a
funny.
fucking joke.
Um,
That movie's so stupid.
have you guys ever seen Tucker and Dale vs. Evil?
I have.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, it's
I
funny.
have, but I don't remember it.
You want to talk
Yeah,
about
That's
one
one
of
of those ones.
one of my favorite movies in terms of progression? You have two hillbillies who live out in the forest. They're nice guys. And then you have these crazy teens that just start, as to quote Tucker, I don't know, there's these crazy teens and they're killing themselves all over our property.
A great horror movie, Idle Hands.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Is that like...
You've never seen. If you haven't seen Idle Hand, it's like a comedy fucking horror. Jessica Alba. It's like one of her first movies. Buddy's hand gets possessed by the devil. He chops it off, and they have to like chase it through the rest of the fucking movie.
They
took the concept from Evil Dead and made it into a movie.
Wait. So they made an origin story for
That's
Thing.
in the 90s too. It's a 90s movie.
So they made an origin story for Thing.
Like I said, it's just like one of Jessica Alba's like.
It sounds like they made it.
She's still really young.
We've all seen the Addams Family. They just made an origin story for the Thing.
I was thinking more.
He chops his hand off and throws it in the fucking microwave. Tries to kill the head. It explodes and they got this zombie head later. Dude, that movie is fucking hilarious.
You know who does that better?
It's a horror comedy. It's fucking hilarious.
Evil Dead 2.
That movie is good.
Horror.
That just reminds me of Evil Dead 2.
The Visit from M. Night Shyamalan as well.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
there was
13
one
or something.
M. Night Shyamalan does nothing but
There was
horror
one around
comedies.
that time too.
Yeah, that was, and it turns out to be like escaped people from an asylum.
Yeah.
But the mom didn't recognize them with like that. This isn't your grandma. When they show up,
This isn't your grandma.
What movie is this?
she dropped them off with them though.
No, she didn't. She dropped them off at the
What
train
movie
and
is
took
this?
the train there.
No, I swear there was a scene where the mom is there with the grandma and speaks to her, and then later it's just like, oh, these aren't your grandparents.
No, there isn't.
What
I swear
movie
there
is
was.
this?
There wasn't.
It's stupid as fuck. It's called The Visit. It's
The
dumb.
Visit. I need to look this up.
What are you calling to the oven for me so you could clean it?
The first time they were just cleaning the oven.
Okay.
Stupid ass fucking movie, dude.
It sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I mean, he made the fucking Village. Oh,
like
there's
The
nothing
Village.
mystical
The
here.
Village. I was just gonna mention.
We
The
just
Village.
live in
I actually like The
1800s in the
Village.
middle
It's stupid
of
as fuck,
Connecticut.
They like pay airlines to like not fly over this, but like, you know how much money that would cost?
For this little town, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so these like old hick yokels could live in the forest.
The idea for Cabin in the Woods makes more sense than The Village. Like that's how bad that movie is. Oh man.
A horror movie I really liked. It came out probably around 2013 as well. It was called Oculus. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, that was
sounds
really
familiar.
good too.
I really liked that one. It was
Oculus.
it left it with such a sense of like who knows what happened, and I appreciated that.
Have you ever watched Hypercube or Cube?
Cube is a great one
No.
too. Yeah, I thought Cube was a
Do
great
yourself
one.
a favor. If you like Oculus, go watch Cube or Hypercube.
Cube first.
Cube,
Yeah,
Cube
watch
is
the
not
first
as
one.
It was a
good.
good one, too.
Hypercube is better. But Cube is
Yeah, but
good.
watch the first one. Come on.
Cube does the whole
Save the best
concept.
The
one.
thing,
Save
And
the
then
best one for last, 'cause then you
Hypercube
won't
jumps
watch it
straight
together.
into it.
The
so
best
like it's way
thing-
better if you watch them in order.
The best
Yeah,
thing
you
about
won't finish the
Cube
first one if
movies.
you don't.
Have you seen The Elevator, which is almost along that same?
Yeah.
I didn't, but I heard it was
That
awful.
one too.
That one's more an existential crisis made into a movie because it's like
It's
in their mind.
a little bit existential crisis into a movie, but also like
Wasn't that where like the
psychological thriller a little bit.
Does like the elevator turn into like a gate to hell or some weird shit?
Yeah.
I don't fucking remember.
No, not really.
No. I thought that
Yeah.
was
There's a weird obscure ending.
Yeah, it opens to a giant fiery pit and one of the guys gets pulled in.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
I mean,
It's
okay.
if I remember. Let's look this up. I remember that scene.
Your lying is really bad.
Hold on. I'm gonna look. The elevator.
Well, anyone watching this will notice that we have progressed beyond progression at this point.
No, we're still talking about progression. We're just talking about how.
Are we?
he's doing really well.
How progressively we like certain movies and not.
You know what?
That's our
It's called a short talk on progression. We did a short talk and then we talked about movies for a
Now we're
minute.
talking about horror.
And then we progressed from that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we stay on top of
That being said-
part of the background of how we talk show.
that being said, we got to get to D&D. So,
Yeah.
as always, I'm sorry, everyone had nothing better to do.
Sure, tell us in the chat
I'm
how much
glad you
wanna
spent
afford
it here. Insaniac loves to talk over me.
Yes, I do.
Drives me
Nothing
nuts.
important to say? That's too bad. 'Cause I'm talking more important than what you have to
that's
say.
I have been C4. Behind me was Sarah Vike. Beside her was Insaniac with Grease Goblin and Sir Jeremy in the background. That is the church bell outside my house. And thank you all for watching. I hope you all had a great time, because we did. And join us
I got other
Sunday.
Twitch channels and YouTube stuff all the time.
One Shot Sunday that I'm leading for my birthday. Birthday one shot. I made them all sweet character cards. Like real life character cards. I'm so
Also,
cool.
Sunday is our 50th episode.
It is our 50th episode. Woo!
50th episode.
50th
and
birthday
John's
special.
Yep.
Because John feels like he's turning
Ooh.
50.
And age is so
Maybe
hard
he
to
is. Maybe
recap
he's
for
lying to
professional.
He secretly
Such a
is.
crazy
I've
thing.
sapped all those years out of him, so he's only 31.
That's
He'll
what it
50.
is.
Just bring it on. Just keep it coming.
That's what it is.
Just
I
keep it
knew
coming.
there was something about you
Keep
that
it
was a
coming.
little extra
Keep it coming.
mysterious.
Keep it
He's
coming.
the only
Everyone
one.
keep
I've been doing
talking.
this for years.
And I'm gonna blast your ears!
Rude.
You can do better.
That's not very nice.
And give it a B.
Go louder.
Nice. Allows me to live forever.
Go deeper.
Make sure you like, share, and
How old are you
subscribe.
really?
Or like join or link or whatever. I don't
I'm
know.
only
I'm not
actually
good at Twitch.
35. I'll just look
Become a
like this
minion.
forever.
You just said that on stream.
Ah.
35.
Follow
Yeah,
us
oh,
if
yeah.
you want. Have a good day.
You know how cool it would be to know some of this shit it would be like from like before the 1980s?